Hey guys, this is going to be a quick gaming news week. There isn't much to talk about, though I do want to expand on the Activision Blizzard labor woes. Then I'm going to talk about 3 games that came out, one of which I haven't been able to play because I don't have the money really. And then 2 others that I've seen on the internet. I played at least one of them, and the other one I've kind of played at least, but not too much. But let's just jump into it. So, Activision Blizzard. Why are there labor woes now? Did they abuse more people again? Did they shred more documents? Well, not this time around. However, a union has filed a federal labor board complaint against Activision Blizzard, opening a new front in the legal battle over workplace rights at the video game maker. So basically, they said that they violated federal labor laws through coercive rules, actions, and statements. And some of those actions involved hiring a union-busting labor union thingy. And statements, they talked about how, this never happened. The DFEH is trying to screw us over, and then backtracking on then the coercive rules, basically saying, like, you need to talk to us before you talk to the lawyers at DFEH, and so on and so forth. And next paragraph goes on to talk about the employer has threatened employees that they cannot talk about or communicate about wages, hours, and working conditions, according to a copy of the complaint obtained through a public information request. And so, yada yada yada. And so, I mean, at this point, this has the potential to bring down Activision Blizzard, I actually think. Now, of course, this could be another situation where they pay a major fine, quote unquote major fine, and then they just walk about doing their thing again. They might fire a few people and make changes to the company structure so that this doesn't happen, but Ubisoft, yeah, that happened there. It hasn't really fully worked out. Now, of course, I have faith that maybe Ubisoft could try to make it better, but knowing at least just from previous times this has happened, yeah, no, it's probably not going to change unless they do a big restructuring and or just a huge firing of those people that offended, either in being complicit with what's happened or being the ones doing it. And so, this is just a shitty situation. I wish Blizzard Activision would just stop doing this, but unfortunately there isn't much I can do except just report on it and then put pressure on Activision Blizzard. But I know some people won't care nevertheless. Some people are still waiting for Activision Blizzard games, and for some, like World of Warcraft streamers, I can't say, stop playing the game, jump away from the literal livelihood of your lives. I mean, I would say, try to move away from it, but I can't force anybody to do that, right? So some people, I can understand why they can't. Now, some other people, like the regular everyday consumer who's like, I'm just going to buy it, I don't care. What Activision Blizzard did was all right. Yeah, if you say that, you're a degenerate. Let's put it that way. And so, I hope Activision Blizzard changes, and if they don't, I hope people slowly move away from their games so that they do either are forced to change or they go under. As much as I hate to say that, they don't deserve to go as a company if they, abuse people. That's just my opinion. But so, that's the end of my little take on the Activision Blizzard thing. On to the next thing. On to some really big game announcements or releases, excuse me. DeathLoop. The one game that I wasn't able to play because it's $60 and I don't have that type of money. Nor do I really have the time, unfortunately. Yeah, it's just, life's crazy, But so, yeah, Metacritic-wise, they're getting an 88, really good score, but for user scores, it's getting a 4.0. And so, as I think the G-Man Live said, yeah, this game's going to be highly divisive, right? Because you had Dishonored, which was a really interesting stealth game where you could either knock out people and keep your karma meter good, or you could kill everybody and make your karma meter go bad. And so this game kind of goes with it doesn't matter, just kill the people. You have to kill 8 visionaries at 4 different locations at 4 different times. So, at least from what critics are saying, or the major outlets, they said it's a good game. It's fun and whatnot, and I don't doubt that, but users are generally saying that it's not all that great, or at least it's not perfectly executed, right? Other games like The Outer Wilds, Baba Is You, and other games within the general vein of Deathloop seem to have done it better or more fun, and so, I think that, at least from what I've gathered from watching gameplay myself, watching the critics and general users, I mean, the game's fun, but is it really a 4.0? I don't think so, at least. Is it really an 88? Potentially, but I don't think so either. I think it's more like a 7 out of 10. You know, something like that, maybe 75, because it is an interesting concept, right? Being everything staying the same way throughout each part of the day in different locations, and you essentially finding a route to how to end the game by killing the 8 visionaries, something like 12 minutes too. And so interesting, but I don't know if they executed it so properly with like the story and whatnot. Maybe some of the gameplay mechanics aren't as good, or at least implemented as well. I know the Juliana sections, or at least like the PvP invasions, Dark Souls invasions, that one wasn't well received due to the fact that it's peer-to-peer. Now, sure, it's fun, but as Juliana, you have to kill Colt 3 times. You have to kill Juliana once, though, and I'm pretty sure it's always host favorites, so Colt's always going to have the advantage, which is good, because if you lose a ton of progress, or your day ends early, I can understand that being frustrating, so I get why that happens, but, it's kind of interesting to see how this is being played out, and I don't know how well this will do past week 1, right? So this is week 1. It seems to be doing really well with critics, not so well with the users. We'll see if this balances out later, but who knows? Most people are probably not going to change their minds, though, because, yeah, everybody's cringe. They're going to either say it's awful or it's great, and so I think it could just be mediocre, But so, that's what I think. And anyway, on to the next game. On to the next game, and a game that I really don't agree with the Metacritic score, Aragami II got a 66, and if you look at it, there's some 90s, 80s saying, oh, it's pretty good, and then you got some 70s, 60s, and IGN gave it a 50. And so, I don't quite agree with the score right now. Granted, I haven't fully completed the game, but at least for the first few levels, I think it's pretty good. And so, at least the major takeaways is that, the missions get repetitive, the combat's a little bit clunky, it's not fully fleshed out, and the combat I can understand, the mission repetition I can kind of understand, but most stealth games kind of are repetitious. They're basically repetitive, because it's really go kill the target or steal something. So, not to say that I don't understand the criticisms, right? But I don't know if it's really an average 66, right? I think an 80, 70 would do it good too. It's like, you could call it also mediocre too. I will say, though, at least the story doesn't seem to be a forefront compared to the first game, where the story was really deep, actually, and really good. And the combat, I mean, it is better than just the one hit from Aragami. I think it's a little bit at least more interesting, in my opinion. And, I mean, just the general movement and stealth, I mean, it's a lot better, I think, because it's just more. So, I don't know. Also, some users are giving it 3, and I don't know. I just don't think it's that bad. Sure, it could be expanded upon more, especially like the combat and the story of this one kind of got pushed off to the side a little bit. Just a little bit. It's not as good, but, I think it's fine. And I'm going to probably enjoy it some more, but, yeah, not right now. Not right now. Too many other things to do. I can't even speak English properly anymore. Send help. Next on the list, Deltarune Chapter 2. Yeah, so this one kind of came out of the blue. I think it was announced Wednesday, Thursday? And then it came out Friday? Ooh, boy. Let me tell you. So, I mean, I played the first chapter, and I really haven't played the second chapter, but from at least what I know, people love the game, and people love it. That's all I know. People are also thirsting over the birds with, suits on and whatever, and which I completely understand. They're quite dapper looking, but so, Deltarune Chapter 2 came out, and yeah, it's free. Go play it, if you have the time. I don't, but hey. And so, looks cool. And people seem to like it a lot too, especially the birds. Anyway, that's the end of this week's news. Yeah, there wasn't really much that came out. Even the Activision Blizzard one, I kind of expected that to happen last week, but it happened this week. And so yeah, the 3 games that I talked about, pretty interesting conglomerated games, and yeah, I think it's all very good and interesting. I do think people need to stop being so extreme, though, on certain things, Games are supposed to just be fun, and so, you don't have to completely love a game, you don't have to completely shit on a game. You could say it's good, just still got some flaws, like everything else in the world, but, that's just me. But anyway, hopefully we'll get more news next week, because, yeah, there really was nothing this week to talk about. So, I had to pick up 3 games that I wanted to talk about, and the Activision Blizzard situation. And I also didn't have that much time either, so I needed a quick video to get out anyway. But so, anyway, like, favorite, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all next week. And maybe earlier, depending on what happens. Who knows?